you 5 Timberwolves Summer League observations. And I'll have you know that I started writing these very excited after the first Summer League game. But then the second Summer League game last night was a little bit more of a train wreck. And the two guys I was most excited about combined for like 13 fouls, because I don't think you can foul out in Summer League games. So just know that as I was writing these, it was more about my excitement irrationally about the first Summer League game. And last night was more, if it happens, you're going to...
So forget last night.
These guys are young.
These
guys are young. It's going to... Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Fair enough.
So these Summer League observations brought to you in part by a partner of ours and the Timberwolves, Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Coming up later this month, it is the Federated Challenge, which helps raise money and resources for Big Brothers Big Sisters, which, by the way, it's like $44 million raised by just multiple amazing different partners and companies since 2005. And Big Brothers Big Sisters is all about providing one-to-one professional mentoring relationships with children who could use some help, maybe getting to that better college, getting to that better place in life. So if you want to find out how you can help and how you can have an influence or maybe become a big yourself, go to federatedchallenge.org, federatedchallenge.org. Okay.
All right.
Here we go. These are 5 Timberwolves Summer League observations. Starting with the first one. The Wolves could have used Rudy Gobert last night in the Summer League. I think maybe they would have beat Memphis in that game if old Rudy Gobert was even in like jean shorts or something. If he could have gone down there for 12 or 15 minutes and swatted some shots away, would have been nice.
Memphis is tough, man. We just can't beat them. We try.
I have a dumb question. Are you allowed to play? Can you, in theory, play anyone you want in a Summer League game, or do they have to be within like if they wanted to play Anthony Edwards going into his third year in Summer League, could they?
I want to say it's
Phil wants a pile on.
You never would, but it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Total guess here. So this is great education. I think it's rookies, second-year players, and anyone who was signed for a two-way contract. Okay. I think those are like the parameters of where we fall on the Summer League stuff.
So actually, I think those are the players who play in Summer League. I think you've hit on the players who play in Summer League. On NBA Reddit, that's just the first thing that popped up here, is that literally anyone who wants to play and or is invited can play in NBA Summer League.
Okay.
So LeBron could play in the Summer League if he wanted to give some poor undrafted kid PTSD. If you're the Timberwolves and people hate this trade, just for one half, if you sent your starting 5 out there, 8-foot wingspans, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, just to send a message to the Grizzlies, hey, you may have beaten us in that playoff series, but we're going to take it to you right now in the Thomas and Mack Center here in Las Vegas.
It's the Wolves. Gobert's ACL would go within the first time he's on the floor.
You're probably right. It would be bad.
And
go
then
send a message. And now he's never the same.
And now he's
player.
never going to play again.
All right, observation number 2, which is the first real observation here. Despite him not being as good last night, this is like when you write a column. The Twins offense exploded in this game, and then the bullpen gives up 7 runs in the 9th. You can say, despite giving up 7 runs in the 9th, here's this other thing. Josh Minott is a very intriguing Energizer Bunny-like player. I think this is probably the guy that Declan was referring to. Mm-hmm. So he scored more points in his Summer League debut last Friday with the Wolves, so 22 points in his Summer League debut. Then he scored as a career high in any of the 33 games he played as a freshman at Memphis in college. His career high was 18. He made a couple of 3-pointers, which is also the equivalent of his entire total from Memphis last season, I saw. He had 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block, and just watching, a half hour of that game on Friday night, just one of those Energizer Bunny players that if he can kind of hone it at some point, probably spend some time in the G League, could be an analytics darling per 40 minutes in college, and was very high up on some of the analytical draft boards. Not like lottery pick, but very interesting prospect to keep an eye on here. Is he the one that you were talking about, Declan?
He was. I thought he, Jaden McDaniels slipped to the end of the first round. Minott was a second-round pick, but Minott has that same type of vibe of this might be one of those steals of the draft, and he's got great athleticism and is hitting shots. It kind of, for him not to hit all those 3-pointers, I've got more questions of was Penny Hardaway using him ineffectively? Why wasn't he used more in an effective role at Memphis compared to what he is with the Wolves now, which might be the Wolves' benefit for that fact. But I just found that very interesting about him.
Well, I mean, Cat in college, not for Penny, but for John Calipari, was basically told, don't shoot threes.
Right.
And so he gets drafted, and everyone's kind of like, oh, he's he's an interior presence that can block some shots, and maybe he'll develop a shot. And right away, he's just bombing shots from 30 feet. Oh.
Scouting is weird because it's. I don't think that scouts take into context what guys aren't doing as being possibilities. That one, Cat, Justin Jefferson. I mean, how do you come out of that, right? That draft, or go into it, I should say. Well, he played in the slot, so I mean, I don't know if he. How do you look at that? But
isn't it
body
their
and
job
that
specifically to look at someone and say, okay, this is what they are, but this is what they could project? I mean, the Timberwolves looked at Josh Minott and said, okay, there's a version of him here that if developed and unleashed properly is going to be something far beyond what you saw in college, right?
Yes. But like, why aren't you, when you get the opportunity to work these guys out, why aren't you saying, hey, do this and let's see the skill set there? Like, it's like, well, in college you didn't do this, so that confuses me because, Phil, you're right. Their job is to sort of see through things. And in some instances, they don't even come close to doing that.
So and let me just double check his measurables here, but he reminded me, you're going to hate this at first, but stick with me on it. He reminded me a little the first couple times I saw Josh Okogie on the court, and that just his energy and his ability to maneuver around and do things at a faster pace than everyone else was very striking. But I think Josh Minott's a better shooter and has more length. And I think is younger than Okogie. Spent a couple years in college, didn't he? But he's got a couple 2 or 3 inches on Okogie too. But he reminded me of like a taller, lankier, even more disruptive and slightly better shooting version of Josh Okogie the first time I saw him. The problem with Okogie is he never developed the shot. He's basically a power forward who's 6'4", and what are you supposed to do offensively when he's on the court? But keep an eye on this dude. Observation number 3. Tim Connelly loves Jaden McDaniels. So I don't know if you saw our guy Kyle Tigey, my co-host on Flagrant Howls podcast. He sent out he's at Summer League, and he sent out a picture of Tim Connelly sitting courtside right now. And there was a bunch of Wolves players. Mark Laurie was there too, sitting down a few. But Tim Connelly and Jaden McDaniels were sitting right next to each other, like kind of hunched over, heads next to each other, talking basketball, talking about how many first-round picks the Wolves had to trade away to Utah to keep Jaden McDaniels in a Timberwolves uniform. And the crazy thing about Jaden is he's going to make less money this year than Wendell Moore, their first-round draft pick. Wrap your head around that. Like, he's already one of their most valuable rotational players, but because of where he was drafted, he's going to make less money than Wendell Moore. So Connelly spending some time with players, Jaden McDaniels at Summer League, good bonding time.
Jaden McDaniels, that's incredible. Like, I mean, I get it, but so what is this going into the last year of his contract then? Is that how the standard contract works?
Let me see here.
In the NBA?
Let's pull up the Timberwolves salary cap table here for a second.
All right. I'm just curious.
So I believe they exercised, or they will. I think he's under team control for 2 more seasons is how this works. Okay. But let me verify this real quick. So the multi-year, and then he's going to be he's probably not going to be a max guy, but he's going to make a lot more than the $2.6 million he is set to make, or the $2.1 million he's set to make this year. Wendell Moore, $2.3 million. So there's a club option for 2023-24, and then he would become a restricted free agent in 2024-25.
Okay.
But he makes $200,000 less than Wendell Moore, who obviously has not stepped foot on a basketball court yet.
That is remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Is that that's your dream pairing there? Just 2 lanky, athletic, slashing, 3-point shooting guys. Observation number 4 from Wolves Summer League. Don't sleep on Wendell Moore Jr. So not that good last night, but this is from Dane Moore talking to Kevin Burleson, who's the Wolves Summer League coach, former Gopher basketball player too. Wendell has an old man soul to the game. He's just kind of that calm, okay, I got this type player. I'm going to draw a play up. He knows the play before I draw it up. He's one of them kids that can just get things really quickly. I was looking around at some NBA comps in the pre-draft process too, and a name that popped up twice was Ron Harper.
Ooh,
and
I
Judd
love Ronnie
remembers
Harper.
him.
Hell of a player.
So a big guard who's like 6 foot. I think Ron Harper was even a little bit bigger. He's like 6'5", 6'6". Wendell Moore 6'5". Using your size as a defender, naturally a shooting guard, but then later in Ron Harper's career, he was running point guard for a Bulls dynasty team and whatnot. I mean, that would be an amazing comp if you wound up being Ron Bleepin' Harper. But just that big guard who can kind of do both, play the 1 or the 2 long term.
Ronnie Harper was fantastic. That's a great comp. Like if that is close to being true, it's a great pick because that guy will have a long career, and that guy was really, really good, especially in his prime. But he did a lot of good things. So yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, could also be a bust because
I like old soul though. I like old souls. I like old souls because I like people because that ordinarily means the guy gets it, right? He's not trying to be flashy. He's not trying to be something that he's not. That he understands his role and is smart and can run plays, and that's what I want.
Yeah, get it quickly is a good thing to be saying about a young player. And then my fifth and final observation: there is drama in the Western Conference.
Oh boy!
So this is from The Athletic, which did a full write-up on all of this Lakers drama, which doesn't directly impact the Timberwolves, but the more you can see other teams fighting with themselves and having to swim through drama, the better for the Timberwolves, who seem to have their house in order. So The Athletic writes, in 2021, LeBron James arrived to Summer League, as he does every year. It's always a big spectacle when LeBron shows up and sits courtside at Summer League, which he does pretty much every year.
Yep.
And so last year, in 2021, James arrived to Summer League and sat with Russell Westbrook, the Lakers' newest acquisition at the time, signaling solidarity and excitement for Russell Westbrook's homecoming. This year, all eyes in the arena were locked on LeBron and Westbrook last night. Players, former players, coaches, agents, executives, all of these people made their way over to dap up LeBron, join the scene, which featured more than a dozen photographers documenting him from every possible angle. I don't know if it was every possible angle. Was there a photographer on the ground, in the floor?
He was just shooting upwards.
Yeah, that's probably a violation. But on the opposite end of the floor, nearly directly diagonally, Russell Westbrook sat next to the Lakers bench, even entering the huddle a couple times for offering up guidance. The group that made its way over to LeBron included several current teammates and also the organization's brass, like Kurt Rambis and Darvin Ham, the new coach, and general manager Rob Pelinka. All these people coming over to dap up LeBron. Poor Westbrook's just sitting across the court. Westbrook never walked over to LeBron, leaving just as the halftime buzzer sounded. LeBron stayed to the end of the third quarter, but the two never acknowledged each other.
Awkward.
Nobody does soap operas like this league. Nobody. Like football does a ton of things really well, and they certainly have turmoil at times, but if you think about it, what league, especially during the course of its summer, what league does soap operas like this league? Nobody.
It's great. The Athletic literally had essentially a LeBron Westbrook beat writer.
Yes.
Not for a game
Genius.
or for anything, to watch and observe their behavior at a summer league basketball game.
Yep.
I love it.
Well, and you know what? They didn't talk. So like that is a justification of that guy's day or gal's day completely.
If you're
that
Westbrook,
person's day.
why would you even at this point with all the
Why are you there?
Yeah.
Is Kat there?
Kat was there, right?
Kat's gone before, yeah.
Kat
I didn't
was
watch
there
the
yesterday.
games, but
I think Kat was there Friday, pretty sure.
Ant?
So Ant got a haircut.
I saw Ant
buzzed the hair
It's a
on.
little
Not
buzz,
fully
yes.
buzzed, but yeah.
He
Also,
should go bald.
Per FanDuel, he is the favorite to win most improved player in the NBA next season. Anthony
Ant?
Edwards at plus 1,200. Yeah.
Really?
Interesting.
Ooh.
I feel like he's been on just an ascent for 2 years in the playoffs, and
I guess the next level is him being a superstar. I mean, he's been good, but he's got odds to win the.
if
most
he
improved
wins
player.
most improved player, it would mean that he's an all-star, probably one of the better young wing players in the league, right? Wouldn't that be the step to take? So there you go.
What a
Those
drama.
are my 5 summer league observations here.
Such great
so far.
drama.
And we're going to get to a buffoon of the week, but those observations were brought to us in part by our friends at Spiral Light Candles. Judd, tell the audience.
I will indeed. And look, this place is family owned and operated, and it's local, so shipping is quick. Lots of great scents that will make your house smell absolutely fantastic. How do I know? Because there are spiral light candles all over the Zolgad estate, which is pretty small, and they make a great gift for
14 bedrooms, 8 baths. Yeah,
mom's birthday. Yeah, not so much, but anyway, smells great, makes a great gift for birthdays, for mom or your girlfriend, your wife, and then there's also this for fans of the purple. Judd's Purple Positivity candle will be available soon. I'm going to show you this candle because you know what? That. Nothing screams purple. Nothing screams game day where you can purge. You can purge with the candle the spirits of failure. For Judd's Purple Positivity candle, burn these on game day. And I'm telling you right now, I think it's going to bring good luck. Go to spirallightcandles.com, spirallightcandles.com. Check them out. Absolutely fantastic.
You like that? You like how that smells?
I like how that smells.
Actually,
I do.
Yeah?
Actually,
I smell like Kirk?
I do.
Does it just smell like...
No, stop that.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
stop.
You
stop with that right now.
That candle smells like Kirk Cousins an hour and a half after a 2-a-day training camp practice.
No, you know what?
Being grilled by Judd Zolgad in a press conference setting. That is what that candle smells like.
This candle smells like Randy Moss circa 98, just fresh and free.
Fresh and free.
Fresh and free, man. Running unimpeded down the field, taking the ball away, high pointing it, basically changing the game. Spiral Light Candles, they are changing the game as well for candles.
All right, speaking of fresh and free, let's get to the buffoon of the week here on Mackie and Judd. Because there is a man feeling fresh and free to say whatever he wants, apparently. After winning his first NBA championship. I'm going to read a little excerpt here from this is from the Point Forward podcast, where a self-deprecating Andrew Wiggins opened up about his sudden rebounding prowess during Golden State's title run. Quote, "You got to figure out different ways to get the ball. So let me try to get my feet wet. Go in there and rebound the ball," Wiggins said. And especially when we played small ball in the Memphis series and I had to rebound, I'm in there rebounding and I'm like, this ain't that hard. I can rebound. And from there, I just kept with it. It helps us win, gives us more possessions. And I'm like, I can do this. I'll never average 4 rebounds again. I look back now like, how? I wasn't really thinking straight. I look back now, I don't know how it was possible that I only averaged 4 rebounds. End quote.
Oh, boy. Andrew.
What?
Andrew.
That's right. Andrew Wiggins has
this is why
8 years into his NBA career. And $250 million later, and maybe not that much, like $150 million in contracts later, has discovered rebounding.
This is why I couldn't tolerate it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely, it's ridiculous that a grown man who was the first overall pick in his draft was like, yeah, I realized this. This is why he is the ultimate, because he is talented. It's why he's the ultimate complimentary type of guy. But like any assumption that he and Kat were going to lead this team and get it, absolutely a fallacy. Because look, I mean, that quote, among many too, going back to his, it was a motivation game. That quote is such a telling quote of who this guy is mentally. It's ridiculous.
Do you guys blame the Timberwolves for this? Because I think a lot of people have witnessed his blossoming and grabbing all these rebounds on the brightest stage and him really coming into his own as the 3rd or 4th guy on that team in terms of pecking order, which is a great situation for him, but saying, yeah, see, the Warriors culture is what has allowed Wiggins to blossom, which, yeah, like if you get to play with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr is a wonderful coach, the Warriors culture is absolutely a thing. But on the other side, it's like, and he's coming from the Wolves culture, which also is a thing. But I know Ryan Saunders, when he was Andrew Wiggins' coach, and coaches before that, weren't telling him, don't rebound the ball, guy. We just want you to focus on scoring. It's like you're allowed to do both in the NBA. So why is it that the Warriors got through to him, or that he discovered this 8 years later, and not the Timberwolves? Is there some sort of blame to be shared by the Timberwolves here? Or is it just a guy who isn't the brightest bulb figuring things out?
There is 100% blame to be shared, but my problem is this. in Golden State, the culture is great. The players are great. The coach is great. So everybody knows, and here's my guess. Everybody, when Wiggy got there, could give him a specific assignment, right? Like, this is what we need tonight. And this is what we need tonight. The Wolves were counting on him actually being a transformative player with Cat and for a year at least, Jimmy Butler. And I don't think Andrew, I don't think he's very bright. Like, this is a guy who after another bad game, I think it was against Boston here, once said, I just love my shot, man. I just love to shoot. I love my shot.
Clanking 20-footers, but loves his shot. Yeah.
Cat might drive you crazy, okay? But I think Cat's a really bright dude. And sometimes he's probably too bright. He probably thinks too much. But Andrew, I think, literally needs to be programmed game by game on this is what we need. This is what we need tonight. This is what we need tomorrow night. I just think it's another sign, and giving this quote too is just another sign of how much I think he is the ultimate doesn't get it guy. The Wolves shouldn't be allowed off the hook. But that being said, unfortunately, with where the Wolves were for a long time, I don't think he was ever going to grab opportunity. You know what? Good or bad, Ant seizes opportunity. It doesn't always work, but he seizes it. Yeah, this guy never seized it.
I think my main takeaway here is it's the old quote, the old adage, it's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than speak and remove all doubt. I was all aboard the, hey, good for him bandwagon. Wow, what a great, perfect fit. It's just, it's good to see. It's good to see as much as I hammered him when he was here. And then this quote came out and I'm like, yep, all right, never again. This dude is a clown and stole $150 million from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Come on, guy. Just figuring out what rebounding is for the first time in 8 years.
Look me in the eye and tell me that you're going to rebound. Look me in the eye. Put Becky's lasagna and apple pie aside.
So there is your buffoon of the week, Andrew Wiggins. Amazing. All right, boys. We're going to be starting today. We're going to be counting down our training camp talkers, our little training camp preview series. As we count down, 3 weeks? Rookies report in like 2 weeks, and then 2.5 weeks, I think it is, when the big boys get out there with Kevin O'Connell for the first time. And we're actually scheduled to have Kevin O'Connell on a bonus episode of Purple Daily today. Yes. I think we can throw that out there. Hopefully he doesn't burn us on his vacation. But Kevin O'Connell scheduled to hang out with us on Purple Daily here on this Monday. So, all right, those are our statements, our Wolves Summer League observations, and go trade for a pitcher, Minnesota Twins, so Judd can sleep at night.
Get somebody better than Pagan. It's not that hard.